So, yeah, I now understand why the Emperor didn't want to fight the Mechanicus. Let's talk about some of the Skitarii legions. These guys right here are called the Skitarii vanguard. Their main strategy is to give the enemy cancer, and I am not joking. Their weapons and war gear emit so much radiation that they basically cannot be deployed with guardsmen. It is also slowly killing them, but they don't really mind that because the more of their natural body parts they lose to said cancer, the more promotions they get. Their ceramite armor is lined with a fluid that protects them a little bit from the radiation, but they will succumb to it eventually. While the most common color of coat you'll see them wearing is red, they will wear other colors depending on what Forge World they're from. These orange coats are from Rizza, and these white coats are from Metallica. The ranged weapon you see them holding is called a radium carbine. It shoots radioactive projectiles that could even kill a Tyrannid. They are also known to carry power swords as melee weapons. The Mechanicus sends these guys into the worst battlefronts, whittling down enemy forces through radioactive attrition. Due to their cybernetic augmentations, they rarely get tired and they do not speak on the battlefield. Like all Skitarii forces, combat data is collected in real time by tech priests, allowing them to install remote upgrades and change battle strategies on the fly, making the Skitarii legions arguably the most adaptable military force in the entirety of the Imperium. When a Skitarii vanguard replaces more of their body with machine parts, they can eventually become a Skitarii alpha and lead their own teams under the direct supervision of the tech priests. This same general promotion structure also applies to the Skitarii rangers, the long-range units of the Skitarii legions. Instead of engaging enemies head-on, they will stalk them for days at a time, picking them off at their weakest points. Their Mark IV Archon galvanic rifles giving them a greater range than most other Imperial units. The Rangers also have access to plasma weaponry, plasma calivers acting as a submachine gun, its heavy rate of fire helping to check the advance of fast-moving armies. Some Rangers will also carry plasma arc rifles, trading a faster rate of fire for a more powerful shot. Arguably their most dangerous weapon is the transuranic arquebus. This is essentially an anti-tank rifle. It has a longer range and is much more powerful than the standard galvanic rifles. However, like its historical equivalent of arquebuses, it needs to be rooted into the ground by a stabilizing rod. Units of Skitarii vanguard have also been known to have at least one unit carrying the arquebus. Another interesting element to note about the Rangers is that they all have cybernetic legs. This is to cut down on the fatigue of their long excursions. The last Skitarii units I wanted to talk about today are the Sicarian ruststalkers, the assassins of the Adeptus Mechanicus. More often than not, they're deployed to eradicate rogue tech priests, but they have also gone after orc war bosses, successfully neutralizing orc was. They carry transonic razors, melee weapons that vibrate at an ultra-high frequency, sort of the same way Raiden's katana does in the Metal Gear series. Their clawed hands work the exact same way, allowing them to tear through armor. The ruststalkers are more similar to dreadnoughts than anything else. Nearly dead Skitarii scavenged off the battlefield and repurposed for assassination. As the vanguard hold the line and the rangers pick off the enemy from afar, the ruststalkers sneak around from the back, eliminating the enemy leaders to weaken their forces. Anyone who tries to say that the Adeptus Mechanicus Skitarii don't have the best drip in 40k deserve to be disowned by their families. Their long red coats are striking and catch the eye, and their early firearm designs of their weapons are just so cool and unique in this setting. They can also be used as a good example of body horror in the Warhammer 40k setting. These are soldiers designed to win at all cost. They view the flesh as weak and human life as expendable, so disgusted with the frailty of their own human form that they're actively trying to replace it with a machine, inflicting upon themselves the very grim fate the Necron Tyr tried to escape, poisoning their own bodies with the radiation of their weapons and the pollutions of their homeworlds, hammering home the idea that the Mechanicus might well become the Necrons 2.0 if they aren't careful. There is a non-canon unit of Skitarii I'd like to give an honorable mention to before we go. They appeared in the first of the Soul Drinker novels. They were referred to as Skitarii monks, and they had electric power fists. The Skitarii monks were capable of tearing apart a space marine with a single punch. The Skitarii vanguard were able to fight on par with the Soul Drinkers during their collision, really hammering home how if the Imperium wanted to destroy all of the Space Marines, they could. In some ways, it almost seems like the Skitarii legions were designed to kill the Space Marines if they had to, and they just happen to also be good at fighting everything else in the 40k universe. With all that said, I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and have a good day. I would appreciate a like, and feel free to check out all the shorts on the channel if you have the time. I'm working on increasing the quality of each of the shorts and reducing the quantity. Thanks again for watching, and make sure to have yourself a good day.